we at ZEEKR never try to time the market or chase the latest trends. I mean, we follow our own strategies. We think in long term and try to make sure that in the long run we make a very, very good business case.
Something unbelievable is happening in the EV world. And it didn't come from Tesla, BMW, or Lexus. It came from a company almost nobody in America had heard of 5 years ago. The ZEEKR 001 has suddenly exploded in popularity because it delivers power, luxury, and technology that many cars twice its price can't match. Today, we're breaking down the most shocking Chinese car ever made, and why the ZEEKR 001 is rewriting every rule in the industry. Number 1. ZEEKR 001. Wild origin story and what makes it shocking. When the ZEEKR 001 first appeared, most people assumed it would be just another experimental electric car from China. Something that looked interesting on paper, but wouldn't survive in the real world. But the moment it launched under Geely's premium division, everything changed. This wasn't a budget EV, and it wasn't designed to compete with the low-cost cars usually associated with Chinese brands. Instead, ZEEKR positioned the 001 as a direct challenger to Tesla, Polestar, Mercedes EQ models, and even Porsche's EV lineup. What made the 001 shocking wasn't just the spec sheet. It was the ambition behind it. Geely, already the owner of Volvo, Polestar, Lotus, and London's iconic black cabs, created ZEEKR to be a luxury electric division built for global domination. They didn't want to participate in the EV race. They wanted to win it. And with the 001, they created something that stunned not only reviewers and early adopters, but also engineers and manufacturing veterans who couldn't believe what the car delivered for the price. The 001 arrived with a shooting brake design unlike anything in the American market. It blended wagon practicality with coupe styling and sports car proportions. Many people didn't even know what category to put it in. But that confusion was exactly what ZEEKR wanted. It made the car unforgettable. And when the numbers came out, over 500 miles of range on certain versions, lightning-fast acceleration, and interior quality punching far above its weight, suddenly, every major automaker was paying attention. The most surprising part? This was no prototype. The 001 had real production, real customers, and real long-distance tests. Owners started reporting that the car drove like something coming from Germany, offered tech that felt more advanced than Tesla's, and delivered comfort levels that shocked people used to traditional luxury brands. It wasn't just good for a Chinese car. It was simply good. Full stop. The 001 didn't enter the EV market quietly. It kicked the door open, and within months of its release, it became one of the first Chinese EVs to force the world's biggest brands to rethink their entire strategies. Number 2. ZEEKR 001. Design. Why it looks unlike anything in its price range. At first glance, the ZEEKR 001 doesn't look like a traditional SUV, sedan, or wagon. It lives in a category of its own, a shooting brake EV with a long, sleek roofline and muscular stance that instantly grabs attention. Most cars in this price segment either play it safe or copy familiar shapes. The 001 went the opposite direction. It looks futuristic, but not in a gimmicky way. The lines are clean, fluid, and aerodynamic, almost resembling a blend between a Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo and a high-end Volvo concept car. The front end sets the tone immediately. Slim LED daytime running lights stretch across the hood, creating an aggressive, high-tech impression. Instead of a traditional grille, The 001 uses a smooth, sealed front that improves efficiency while giving the car a premium EV identity. The sculpted hood and sharp character lines emphasize width and presence, making the 001 feel far more expensive than it is. Even reviewers who normally criticize Chinese designs had to admit, this car looks good from nearly every angle. The side profile is perhaps the strongest element. The long roofline flows elegantly to the rear, giving the 001 its signature shooting brake shape. Flush door handles slide out automatically when you approach, a detail usually seen on cars costing far more. The frameless windows add another premium touch, reducing visual clutter and giving the cabin a cleaner aesthetic. The wheels, especially the 21-inch turbine-style options, fill the arches perfectly and reinforce the car's sporty character. Move to the rear, and the 001 continues to impress. A full-width LED light bar stretches across the hatch, creating a modern, minimalist look. The rear shoulders are wide and powerful, giving the car a planted stance that hints at its performance capabilities. The sloping glass and integrated spoiler add both style and aerodynamic function, reducing drag while enhancing stability at higher speeds. Even the smaller details show surprising attention. The charging port is integrated seamlessly into the body. Black accents and sculpted lower panels create contrast without overdoing the design. And the overall fit and finish, panel gaps, paintwork, alignment, are at a level that stunned reviewers who expected compromises. Many said it felt like something designed in Scandinavia or Germany, not what people typically imagine from a Chinese manufacturer. What makes the design truly shocking is the value equation. For a price where many competitors still offer basic styling, the 001 delivers a premium, exotic look that turns heads even in places where EVs are common. It doesn't just compete visually, it challenges luxury brands that have been refining their design language for decades. Number 3. ZEEKR 001. Battery tech, the real shock behind its range, longevity, and CATL engineering. The ZEEKR 001 didn't just make headlines for its design or performance, it shook the entire EV world because of its battery technology. This is where the car made a statement so bold that competitors had no choice but to take it seriously. Powered by industry giant CATL, the 001 debuted with advanced battery chemistry that pushed range figures into territory previously reserved for only the most expensive electric cars. And even those struggled to match the numbers ZEEKR was offering at its price point. At the core of the 001's shock value is the massive battery pack. Depending on the version, the car comes with options that climb all the way to a staggering 100 kilowatt-hours or more. But it's not just size that matters, it's the efficiency. The shooting brake shape, optimized aerodynamics, and advanced motor tuning allow the 001 to extract extraordinary range out of its battery, with some long-range variants crossing over 600 miles in China's testing system and still delivering impressive results in real-world reviews. One of the biggest breakthroughs lies in the battery chemistry. CATL's packs are known for their stability, safety, and energy density. The 001 uses a high-nickel chemistry that delivers strong power without compromising durability. Owners have reported incredibly low degradation even after tens of thousands of miles. This stability is due to CATL's robust cooling and thermal management systems, which maintain optimal temperatures during both daily driving and fast charging. Speaking of charging, the 001's battery system is built to handle high-speed charging in a way that rivals or even surpasses many premium brands. With proper preconditioning, certain versions can accept extremely rapid charging levels, drastically reducing the time needed to go from low to high. The charging curve is another success story. Unlike many EVs that slow down too early, the 001 maintains strong charging speeds for longer, making long-distance travel far more convenient. Another surprising element is battery longevity. CATL packs are engineered to resist common aging issues found in EVs, such as capacity loss due to repeated fast charging cycles. This means owners can rely on rapid chargers without worrying about shortening the battery's lifespan. Combined with ZEEKR's advanced battery software, the system ensures efficient charging distribution, predictive heating and cooling, and smart energy routing that protects the battery in all kinds of weather. And then there's the innovation factor. ZEEKR has been pushing to integrate newer technologies like cell-to-pack construction, which eliminates unnecessary components and increases efficiency without enlarging the battery. The result is a lighter, more compact design that still delivers world-class range. All of this makes the ZEEKR 001 a true disruptor. It wasn't just a Chinese car offering good numbers. It was a car proving that Chinese battery technology had reached world-leading levels, and in some areas surpassed long-established EV leaders. For many people, the 001's unmatched battery tech was the exact moment they realized the global EV landscape had changed forever. Number 4. ZEEKR 001. Performance, acceleration, handling, and the silent power that surprised everyone. The ZEEKR 001 doesn't just look sporty. It drives like a car that was engineered to impress even the most skeptical critics. What shocked many early reviewers was how refined and well-balanced the driving experience felt, especially considering its size and weight. This is not a light EV, yet it moves with the confidence and responsiveness of something far more athletic. ZEEKR didn't design it as a simple commuter car. They built it to compete with high-performance EVs from brands that have dominated the segment for years. Acceleration is the first thing that grabs you. With a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup, producing well over 500 horsepower in the higher trims, the 001 launches from a standstill with an instant surge of torque that pins you to your seat. Some variants can hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 3.8 seconds, numbers normally associated with expensive European performance cars. Even the single-motor version delivers smooth, satisfying power with no lag, making daily driving effortless. But raw speed is only part of the story. What shocks people even more is how calm and controlled the 001 feels at higher speeds. The battery pack is positioned low in the chassis, giving the car a remarkably low center of gravity. This makes cornering more stable than many SUVs and crossovers in its price range. The steering is tuned to be precise without feeling twitchy, and the adaptive suspension adjusts to handle uneven roads, potholes, and highway cruising with surprising smoothness. ZEEKR borrowed heavily from its connection to Volvo and Polestar, brands known for their driving refinement. The engineering philosophy shows in the 001's chassis, balance, and suspension tuning. The car feels planted, predictable, and reassuring on long drives, yet agile enough to handle backroad twists without drama. It strikes a rare balance between luxury comfort and athletic performance. The silence inside the cabin also adds to the experience. Electric cars are quiet by nature, but the 001 goes a step further. The insulation is thick, the windows are acoustic laminated, and the aerodynamics reduce wind noise significantly. Even under heavy acceleration, the motors produce a smooth, muted hum rather than the harsh whine heard in some EVs. This gives the 001 a serene, premium driving feel normally found in high-end European models. Regenerative braking is another highlight. It's adjustable, allowing drivers to choose between a smooth, natural deceleration or a stronger one-pedal driving feel. The transition between regeneration and traditional braking is smooth, with no jerkiness, a detail many EVs still struggle to perfect. Together, the performance characteristics of the ZEEKR 001 show a level of polish that caught the industry off guard. This wasn't a rough first attempt from a new company. It felt like a car developed by a brand with decades of experience. And that's exactly what made the 001 stand out. It proved that leapfrog innovation from China wasn't coming someday. It was already here, and it could hold its own against the world's best. Number 5. ZEEKR 001. Interior. Luxury that feels more European than Chinese. Step inside the ZEEKR 001, and the first thing that hits you is how genuinely premium the cabin feels. Many automakers talk about luxury materials, but the 001 delivers them in a way that surprises people who expect compromises in an EV at this price. Nothing feels cheap or hollow. Instead, the interior gives off a calm, European-inspired atmosphere. Clean lines, soft materials, and a sense of craftsmanship that immediately elevates the driving experience. The dashboard is wide and uncluttered, dominated by a large central touchscreen that integrates seamlessly into the cabin's design. The layout is minimalist but functional, avoiding the overly futuristic video game cockpit look that some EVs chase. The materials are a highlight. Real leather or high-quality synthetic options cover most surfaces. Soft touch padding stretches across the dashboard, doors, and center console. Many reviewers noted that it feels closer to Volvo or Lexus quality than what people typically expect from a Chinese EV. The seats are another standout. They're plush, supportive, and shaped in a way that makes long drives far more comfortable. Higher trims offer massaging features, ventilation, and heating, giving the 001 an upper-class feel. The driving position is excellent too, high enough for visibility, but low enough to feel sporty. The steering wheel is thick and comfortable, with well-placed controls that don't overwhelm you. Space is abundant. Because of the EV architecture, the floor is flat, giving rear passengers generous legroom. The sloping roofline doesn't compromise headroom thanks to smart interior packaging. The rear seats recline, and the cabin's wide shoulder space makes the 001 feel larger inside than many competing crossovers. The panoramic glass roof stretches across the cabin, letting in natural light and enhancing the feeling of openness. Storage is excellent as well. Large door pockets, a spacious center console, hidden storage trays, and a sizable trunk give the 001 genuine practicality. The cargo area benefits from the shooting brake design, offering more usable length and width compared to traditional SUVs. Fold the rear seats down, and the 001 becomes a highly capable hauler, further adding to its versatility. Sound insulation is another area where the 001 punches above its class. Wind and road noise are kept to a minimum, even at highway speeds. ZEEKR used acoustic glass and strategic padding to create a quiet, relaxing environment. Combined with the instant, smooth power delivery of an EV, the cabin feels serene, almost like riding in a luxury train. Technology inside the cabin is integrated thoughtfully. Instead of overwhelming you with screens and flashing lights, the 001 focuses on simplicity and ease of use. The touchscreen is responsive and well-organized. The digital instrument cluster behind the wheel is crisp and easy to read. Ambient lighting adds a touch of sophistication without being distracting. Overall, the ZEEKR 001's interior is one of its strongest selling points. It breaks stereotypes, delivers maturity rarely seen in a newcomer, and offers comfort and refinement that rival brands still struggle to match. For many people, sitting in the 001 for the first time is the moment they realize this car isn't just surprising on paper. It's genuinely impressive in person. Number 6. ZEEKR 001. Infotainment and Tech. Massive screens, AI features, and real innovations. Technology is where many EVs try to stand out, but few execute it with the balance and refinement shown by the ZEEKR 001. From the moment the system wakes up, it's clear that ZEEKR didn't just want to match competitors. They wanted to build a user experience that felt fast, intelligent, and genuinely helpful without overwhelming the driver. The result is an infotainment setup that feels mature, intuitive, and surprisingly polished for a brand that's relatively new to the global stage. Front and center is the large, high-resolution touchscreen that controls nearly everything in the car. What sets it apart is how fluid the interface feels. There's no lag, no hesitation, no awkward menu transitions. ZEEKR's in-house software is optimized for quick input response, making it comparable to the best systems from Tesla, BMW, or Mercedes. Even reviewers who often criticize touchscreen-heavy setups admitted that the 001's layout was clean, logical, and easy to navigate. The home screen is customizable, allowing drivers to choose the functions they use most. Climate controls remain accessible at the bottom at all times, avoiding the frustrating hidden menu problem. The map interface is crisp and intelligently designed, offering multiple views and clear routing data. Over-the-air updates ensure the system keeps improving without requiring dealership visits, and ZEEKR regularly pushes updates to enhance features, fix bugs, and add refinements based on user feedback. Voice control is another highlight. Instead of generic commands, the 001 uses a natural, conversational AI that can interpret more complex instructions. Drivers can adjust temperature, open windows, control navigation, manage media, and even change ambient lighting with simple voice requests. It works without shouting, and the microphones pick up commands clearly, even at highway speeds. The digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel adds another layer of clarity. It's bright, sharp, and customizable, giving drivers multiple display options depending on their preferences, whether they want a simple speed and range layout or a more information-rich view with navigation prompts and energy usage data. The head-up display available on higher trims further reduces distraction by projecting key information directly onto the windshield. One of the most impressive elements is the seamless integration between the infotainment system and the car's advanced driver assistance suite. The 001's sensors, cameras, and AI-powered features work together with the screen to deliver real-time feedback. Whether you're using adaptive cruise control, lane-keeping assistance, or parking automation, The system visually explains what the car is seeing and how it's interpreting surroundings. This transparency makes drivers feel more comfortable using the technology. Connectivity is modern and flexible. The 001 supports wireless phone mirroring, wireless charging pads, multiple USB-C ports, Bluetooth streaming, and cloud-connected apps. The premium audio system, especially the upgraded setup in higher trims, delivers deep bass, crisp detail, and a cinematic listening experience that transforms long drives into something far more enjoyable. Then there are the smaller innovations that show real attention to detail. The 001 features gesture controls, intelligent navigation that predicts charging needs, cabin personalization profiles linked to the key, and even digital key support through smartphones. User accounts sync across cars, meaning that if someone owns multiple ZEEKR vehicles, their settings follow them automatically. All of this creates an experience that feels effortless. The technology doesn't get in the way, doesn't confuse, and doesn't overwhelm. It simply works, and works well. For a brand still expanding globally, such a sophisticated and stable system shocked many experts who assumed it would take years to refine. Instead, ZEEKR delivered a tech suite that rivals long-established luxury manufacturers on its very first try. Number 7. ZEEKR 001 Charging, the megawatt-level fast-charging surprise. Charging is the part of EV ownership most people worry about, and it's where the ZEEKR 001 delivered one of its biggest surprises. While many electric cars talk about fast charging, the 001 actually delivers it in a consistent, real-world way that impressed even hardened EV critics. Instead of slowing down early or delivering inconsistent speeds, the 001 maintains a strong, stable charging curve, something even premium brands struggle with. The first shock for many owners was how quickly the car preconditions its battery. Before you reach a high-speed charger, the 001 automatically heats or cools the battery pack to its optimal temperature. This allows the car to accept higher charging rates right from the start, instead of wasting the first few minutes ramping up. It's the same strategy used by high-end EVs, and it dramatically cuts down on charging time. Once plugged in, the charging performance depends on the variant. The long-range versions can handle extremely fast DC speeds that put them on par with the best in the industry. ZEEKR and CATL engineered the pack to accept high wattage without stressing the cells, maintaining stable speeds for a longer portion of the session. Instead of peaking early and rapidly dropping off, something common among many EVs, the 001's curve stays strong past the midpoint. This alone makes road trips far more manageable. At a modern fast charger, owners often see the battery jump from low levels to meaningful range within minutes. In real-world reports, a short 10 to 15-minute stop can add well over 100 miles of driving, depending on conditions. This grab-and-go capability is exactly what drivers want: quick top-ups that don't interrupt travel plans. And unlike some EVs that suffer from unpredictable charging behavior, fast one day, slow the next, the 001's system remains consistent thanks to robust thermal management. Home charging is equally smooth. The onboard charger supports high-power AC charging, allowing most owners to fully recharge overnight without any hassle. ZEEKR's app helps schedule charging during off-peak hours, monitor session progress, and warm the cabin before driving, all of which adds convenience without requiring complicated setup. The car even learns your routine over time, optimizing battery preconditioning automatically. Another impressive detail is how the 001 minimizes charging losses. Every EV loses a small percentage of energy as heat during charging, but ZEEKR engineered the system to be highly efficient, capturing more of the electricity and converting it cleanly into stored energy. This translates to lower energy costs and less wear on the system. ZEEKR has also invested in future-proofing. The 001's battery and software architecture are designed to support upcoming charging standards and higher power levels. This ensures the car won't feel outdated as charging networks evolve. Combined with software updates that continually refine the way the system behaves, the 001 remains competitive, even as the EV landscape keeps shifting. Put all of this together, and the ZEEKR 001's charging experience becomes one of its defining strengths. It doesn't just match expectations, it exceeds them, delivering a level of performance usually reserved for EVs far more expensive. It eliminates range anxiety, simplifies long trips, and proves that fast, consistent, real-world charging doesn't have to be limited to luxury brands. For many early adopters, this was the moment they realized the 001 wasn't just surprising, it was the start of a major turning point in EV engineering. Number 8. ZEEKR 001. Safety, crash protection, real-world testing, and the engineering behind its strength. Safety is one area where many new automakers struggle, especially when competing with brands that have spent decades perfecting crash structures. But the ZEEKR 001 surprised everyone by performing like a seasoned luxury manufacturer right from the start. Instead of cutting corners, ZEEKR engineered the 001 with an emphasis on structural rigidity, occupant protection, and advanced sensor technology, resulting in safety scores that shocked critics who assumed a first-generation Chinese EV would lag behind established players. The foundation of the 001's safety is its high-strength steel and aluminum body structure. ZEEKR used a combination of ultra-high-strength steel in critical areas and lightweight aluminum in others to create a rigid passenger cell. In the event of a collision, the front and rear crumple zones absorb and distribute impact forces efficiently, keeping the cabin intact. This design philosophy mirrors the engineering principles used by Volvo. No coincidence, considering Geely's ownership and shared safety expertise. Crash testing data reinforced the car's reputation. The 001 performed exceptionally well in both front offset and side impact scenarios, maintaining impressive cabin stability. The battery pack is protected by strong underbody shielding and reinforced side rails, reducing the risk of damage during high-impact or rollover events. EV-specific fires and thermal runaways are rare thanks to KTL's advanced battery cooling, thermal separation, and fail-safe design. Another surprising area where ZEEKR exceeded expectations. Inside the cabin, the 001 is equipped with a comprehensive airbag system. Beyond the standard front and side airbags, it includes curtain airbags that cover a large portion of the cabin and help protect occupants in common crash scenarios. The seats are engineered to prevent whiplash injuries, and the seat belt pretensioning system activates quickly and precisely during sudden deceleration. The safety story goes beyond physical protection. The 001's active safety and driver assistance systems are among the most advanced in its class. The car uses a combination of long-range radar, high-definition cameras, ultrasonic sensors, and advanced algorithms to monitor the surroundings. The result is a system that's not only responsive, but also smart enough to predict potential hazards before they occur. Adaptive cruise control works smoothly, maintaining distance with natural acceleration and braking. Lane-keeping assistance is accurate and reduces unnecessary corrections, especially on wide highway lanes. Automatic emergency braking reacts quickly to sudden obstacles, whether it's a slowing car, a pedestrian, or a cyclist. Blind spot monitoring is enhanced with visual alerts, and the 001's cross-traffic detection system does an excellent job of protecting drivers in crowded parking lots. Parking assistance is another unexpected highlight. The 001 offers automated parking features that can handle both parallel and perpendicular spots with impressive precision. The car can identify suitable parking spaces and maneuver itself with minimal input, easing one of the most stressful parts of urban driving. Surround view cameras deliver a crisp 360-degree image, making tight spots feel less intimidating. Long-distance travel brings even more benefits. The 001's lane centering system works well on highways, reducing fatigue. Driver monitoring ensures the operator stays alert, gently reminding them to focus if it detects signs of distraction. These features work together harmoniously, giving the 001 a level of intelligence usually associated with brands like Mercedes and Tesla. What truly surprised reviewers was not just how many safety features the 001 offered, but how refined they felt. Many first-generation systems can be abrupt or overly sensitive, but the 001's tech behaves predictably and smoothly. This indicates deep software tuning, something automakers typically spend years perfecting. In the end, the ZEEKR 001 didn't just meet safety expectations, it exceeded them. It proved that a new EV brand could deliver world-class protection and smart, reliable driver assistance right out of the gate. And for many potential buyers, this was the moment they realized the 001 wasn't just a bold experiment. It was a genuinely well-engineered car built to compete at the highest level. Number 9. ZEEKR 001. Ownership costs, warranty, maintenance, depreciation, and real-world value. One of the most unexpected strengths of the ZEEKR 001 is how affordable it is to own over time. Many luxury EVs lure buyers in with flashy features, but end up costing far more in maintenance, repairs, and long-term ownership. The 001, however, flips that pattern on its head. Thanks to its efficient design, durable components, and strong warranty coverage, it offers ownership costs that rival or even beat some mainstream brands, while delivering the performance and luxury of far more expensive competitors. The first major advantage is the warranty. ZEEKR offers generous protection on both the vehicle and the battery pack, giving buyers confidence that they won't be hit with unexpected expenses early in the ownership cycle. The battery warranty covers long-term degradation, an area where many EV owners worry about range loss over time. But with CATL's proven chemistry, the 001's batteries show remarkably low degradation even after extensive use, meaning fewer concerns about expensive replacements down the line. Maintenance is another pleasant surprise. Electric cars naturally require fewer service visits compared to gasoline vehicles, but the 001 goes even further. It has no oil changes, no spark plugs, no transmission fluid flushes, and far fewer moving parts. Brake wear is also reduced significantly thanks to regenerative braking, which uses the motors to slow the car down. This means brake pads last longer and cost less to replace. Cabin filters, tire rotations, and software updates make up the bulk of ongoing service needs. In the real world, owners report that the 001 is inexpensive to maintain, with service intervals spaced out and no hidden costs popping up. Software updates delivered over the air often improve efficiency, update driving assistance features, or fix minor bugs without requiring a trip to a workshop. This modern approach to maintenance not only saves money, but also maximizes convenience. Depreciation, however, is where the 001 created one of the biggest surprises. Traditionally, Chinese cars have struggled with resale value, but EVs are rewriting the rules. As ZEEKR grows globally, awareness is rising, and reviews have been overwhelmingly positive. The 001's strong battery technology, long range, and luxury features make it more desirable on the used market than many people expected. Early data from markets where the 001 has been sold for several years shows that depreciation is far lower than skeptics predicted. Part of this is because the 001 still feels modern even after a few years on the road. Its massive battery pack keeps range competitive for a long time, and the software updates ensure it doesn't fall behind technologically. Meanwhile, the quality of materials inside the cabin helps it resist aging. There are fewer signs of wear compared to cheaper EVs, and the solid construction means rattles and squeaks are rare even after high mileage. Insurance costs are in line with other vehicles in its class. While the performance models can be slightly more expensive to insure, the car's strong safety record helps offset premiums. Many insurers also offer discounts for EVs due to their reduced mechanical complexity and lower fire risks when properly engineered. Another area where CATL and ZEEKR's battery design shines. Electricity costs are typically far lower than fuel expenses. With home charging, the cost per mile is significantly lower than gasoline, and many owners pair the car with off-peak electricity plans or solar setups to save even more. Public fast charging is more expensive, but still often cheaper than filling a large gas tank. When everything is added up, warranty, maintenance, fuel savings, depreciation, and reduced repair risks, the ZEEKR 001 becomes one of the best value EVs in its segment. It offers luxury car comfort, sports car acceleration, and premium-level technology without the premium-level ownership costs. And for many buyers who have been hesitant about switching to an EV, this combination of performance and affordability is exactly what makes the 001 such an appealing and surprising long-term choice. Number 10. ZEEKR 001. Global Impact: How it changed the EV market forever. The ZEEKR 001 didn't just succeed as a single model. It changed the global EV conversation. When it launched, many people outside China had no idea who ZEEKR was. Within a short time, the 001 forced some of the world's biggest brands to rethink their strategies. It wasn't simply a good Chinese EV. It was a signal that China was ready to compete directly with Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and even Porsche, not years from now, but immediately. What startled the industry most was the combination of performance, luxury, technology, and pricing. Traditionally, buyers expected to sacrifice at least one of those categories when choosing a more affordable EV. With the 001, they didn't have to give up anything. It blended long range, refined driving feel, premium interiors, and advanced battery tech in a way that disrupted long-standing assumptions about what a new automaker could achieve. European brands felt the pressure first. Many of them had spent years developing EVs with limited range, slow charging speeds, and high prices. Suddenly, the 001 arrived with numbers that outperformed or matched their flagship models, at a fraction of the cost. Media outlets across Europe began asking whether traditional automakers were falling behind, and the comparison wasn't flattering. The 001 proved that innovation wasn't tied to decades of history. It was tied to ambition, technology, and execution. Tesla, too, felt the ripple. For years, Tesla dominated range and performance metrics. Then ZEEKR showed up with KTL's battery tech and delivered a car that could exceed or challenge Tesla's strengths while offering a more luxurious cabin and smoother ride. It wasn't about beating Tesla. It was about proving that the EV landscape wasn't one-sided anymore. Another major impact was how the 001 accelerated China's reputation as an EV powerhouse. China had already been the world's biggest EV market, but global consumers still viewed Chinese vehicles with skepticism. The ZEEKR 001 helped change that narrative. It became one of the first models to demonstrate that Chinese EVs could be world-class, not just affordable alternatives. This shift in perception opened doors for other Chinese brands to expand globally, from BYD to XPeng and NIO. The 001 also influenced EV design language. Its shooting brake shape challenged the idea that EVs needed to follow SUV or sedan templates. It proved that customers were open to new styles if the execution was strong. The blend of wagon practicality with sports car aesthetics inspired other automakers to experiment with unconventional designs, seeing that the market was ready for something different. On the technology side, the 001 pushed the industry toward better battery chemistry, faster charging speeds, and more refined software ecosystems. Competitors who previously updated their cars slowly began adopting rapid over-the-air updates and improved user interfaces. The 001's success showed that consumers wanted not just electric power, but also technology that felt intuitive, modern, and constantly evolving. Its impact extended to pricing as well. Before the 001, long-range luxury EVs were often priced out of reach for the average buyer. ZEEKR challenged that barrier by offering high-end features at accessible pricing, effectively pressuring other automakers to reassess their margins and technology roadmaps. The EV market became more competitive, more innovative, and more affordable because of cars like the 001. The final piece of its global impact is cultural. The ZEEKR 001 helped create a new era where buyers no longer assume Western or Japanese automakers are the only companies capable of producing reliable, advanced, and desirable vehicles. It marked a shift in global expectations, placing Chinese EVs on equal footing with brands that have existed for generations. In the end, the ZEEKR 001 didn't just succeed. It helped reshape the EV landscape, encouraged competition, elevated consumer expectations, and proved that the next automotive revolution would be defined by technology, not brand age. It's the kind of car that marks a turning point in an industry, and its influence will be felt for years to come. The ZEEKR 001 is more than a surprising electric car. It's a turning point. It represents a moment when the automotive world realized that innovation doesn't always come from familiar places. Sometimes it arrives quietly, from a brand nobody expects, and suddenly forces everyone else to rethink what's possible. The 001 did exactly that. It delivered luxury without the markup, performance without compromise, and technology that didn't feel experimental. It felt polished, mature, and ready. What makes it truly remarkable is how seamlessly it blends all these strengths. You get the silent surge of an advanced EV, the comfort of a premium European cabin, the reliability of KTL's world-class battery engineering, and the refinement of a car tuned by a company determined to prove itself on the global stage. It's rare for a single model to disrupt so many segments at once, but the 001 accomplished it with confidence. And as the world shifts toward electric vehicles, cars like the ZEEKR 001 remind us that the future doesn't belong to one country or one company. It belongs to the brands willing to push boundaries, innovate boldly, and deliver real value rather than promises. For many people discovering this car for the first time, the reaction is the same: disbelief, curiosity, and eventually, respect. Whether or not someone decides the 001 is their next car, its impact is undeniable. It changed expectations, raised standards, and challenged long-standing assumptions about who can build a world-class EV. The ZEEKR 001 didn't just enter the market, it reshaped it. And that's why it stands today as one of the most shocking electric cars ever made.